In North America, we have 110 60 hertz. We also have 240. In Europe, it's 230 volt 50 hertz. Can you give a high-level explanation of what these things mean?
Sure. So the AC power is alternating current. That all that means is the electrons in the wire alternate their direction every so often. In North America, they change directions and make a full cycle going one direction, back, and then start the first direction 60 times a second. That's 60 hertz, or a frequency of 60 hertz. In Europe, it's 50 hertz, so it's a little bit slower in their change of direction. As far as the voltage goes, in North America, we have 120 volts in residential applications. We have 120 volts or split phase 12240, which is really the same thing. A 240 is two wires at 120 volts each. But because they're out of phase with each other, when the electrons in one wire are going towards the load, the other wire's electrons are going away from the load. So what that means is from neutral, or the zero plane, one wire will be 120 volts, and from the neutral to the other wire, it'll be 120 volts. But from wire to wire, it's 240 volts. In Europe, the 230-50 hertz, they only have a single phase, so it's neutral wire and one hot wire, and it's 230 volts between the two. There's also all kinds of different variations to that. You do have 120 volts, 50 hertz in some countries. Even in North America, in the industrial areas, you have three phase, which is 120 volts, 208 line to line, because there's three hot wires, and they're out of phase with each other enough to run motors and things like that. But there's all kinds of variations. But you're right, the common ones are 120, 12240, and 230-50 hertz.
So the other question is that let's say you have a device for 240 volts. Can you plug it into an outlet that's designed for 208 volts?
No, not. We'll see it as low voltage because there is quite a difference there. The ones that you can use in North America, there's a lot of conversation about 110 volts, 120 volts, 115 volts. That's just different conversational numbers of the same thing. You know, if you have a device that says 120 volts AC and your electrician says, yeah, you've got 110, yeah, it should work just fine.